In 1432, Clan Mackenzie and Clan MacCulloch in the Highlands of Scotland came upon an issue, a problem, a dispute. A goat stuck in a fence between the lands of Mackenzie and MacCulloch. Thus was born the game of Sticks and Stones. To decide the fate of the goat, to decide the owner of the goat, the game was born. Today you have come to this video to learn about that game, a game that involves throwing flat stones at circles with a stick in the middle. It sounds simple, and it is, but the lore and the love that we have for it is unfathomable. So let me walk you through the simple instructions that will allow you to take part in this age-old tradition. Let's split the goat. Welcome to the Rumble Strip. Well, in this case, it is an instructional rumble strip and definitely not authentic. Typically, a rumble strip would be on dirt or grass, but the target would be on dirt, and that is made, the target or where you're aiming for is made up of 2 rings with a stick in the middle. The outer ring is going to be worth 1 point, inner ring worth 3 points, and the stick is worth 5 points, but we'll get into the details of that in a second. You have a toolbox, which is where you throw from. The toolbox is approximately 3 feet long and 2 feet deep or wide. You stand within the toolbox when you're making your throw, and the lucky penny is also placed in the toolbox. And the lucky penny serves a dual purpose as the indicator of the beginning of a game when it is placed in the toolbox, as well as the coin flip for who goes first. The toolbox is generally placed right behind or between 2 trees. And the 2 trees are generally representative of the goat. It's called splitting the goat, to toss between the 2 trees. So a rumble strip that would be official, you will see 2 trees that frame the toolbox, and as you stand on the toolbox, you will look down to 2 circles in the dirt with a stick standing up in the middle, and that is a regulation rumble strip. Before we get into the nitty-gritty rules, there are a couple ceremonial and important people in the game of Sticks and Stones you need to be aware of. The first one is the stump grinder. The stump grinder is the referee of the game. They are the official score giver, so they'll look and tell you what the score is on each stone, and they'll break up disputes, things like that. And then the next one would be the next important one that you need to know is the stonemason. They are kind of the head judge. They break up any disagreements. They're the second opinion. They're kind of the commissioner of the game, the box that the referee makes the call to if they need help. But those are the 2 important ones that you need to know about. 2 other positions that are more ceremonial are the lore keeper and the bushmaster. The bushmaster is a mysterious figure who seasons the rumble strip. They christen, I guess the rumble strip is another way of putting it. They strewn some local debris onto the rumble strip to begin the tournament. And the lore keeper is a very ceremonial position, generally the MC of the tournament. Lots of loud talking and explaining of things. They'll probably be the one that tell you the lore of the tournament when you're playing it. So 2 ceremonial positions, but very important. The first step to any Sticks and Stones match is picking your stones. Generally, if there are stones in the local area, you'll be instructed to go find 2 that are that are between 3.5 and 4.5 ounces, which will be weighed by the stonemason. The stonemason is the official. They'll make sure they're within spec. Trust me, it's hard to find 3.5 to 4.5 ounce stones. Then, when you get to the beginning of your match, you'll be provided with a 3rd stone, which is also in the same ounce range. That is given to you by the stump grinder. That way you have your 3 stones that you'll use throughout the match. Oddly enough, stones don't get mixed up all that often, so don't need to worry about that. You just know your stones. They're yours. They're your weapons. They're your instruments of domination, some might say. The next step comes with the lucky penny. You take the lucky penny, well, not you, the stump grinder takes the lucky penny, gives it a nice little flip, and you call head or tails in the air. Generally, it's one person picks, or you choose which one you want. Whoever wins that coin toss goes first in the alternating order. Once that penny is then taken by the stump grinder and placed into the toolbox, the match begins. Once the match begins, the first person that gets to throw, that was decided by the lucky penny, goes first. They step both feet into the toolbox, they line up their shot with one of their preferred stones, and they give it a throw. Then they step out of the toolbox, and the other competitor steps into the toolbox to take their throw. That continues, switching between throwers until both participants have thrown all of their stones down at the target, and the stump master has calculated the points. Then you go down and you retrieve your stones, the stick is reset if necessary, and that process is repeated until the winner reaches exactly 21 points. Though semifinal and final matches are played to 21 points, not all games are played to 21 points. Most games leading up to the semifinal and final rounds of a tournament are played to 11 points to speed up the process of the tournament and make sure that games don't linger too much. Now, to get to 21 points, the ring has different point values. The target has different point values per ring. The first outer circle is 1 point. Second inner circle is worth 3 points, and the stick itself, if you knock it over, is worth 5 points. You get the point if your stone breaks the line at all. That is up to the stump masters. Your stone might be 75 to 90% outside of the target, but as long as part of it is breaking that line determined by the stump master, then that is stump grinder. I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong and confusing you. Then that is worth the point of the next circle above. Now, the stick, that can only be scored once per round. And a round is once everyone has thrown all six of the stones in play before it's retrieved. You cannot reset the stick if it's been knocked down, but you can score a stone twice. By doing that, or to do that, you need to knock the stick over and keep your stone in the circle. If you do that, you get the 5 points of the stick, and you get the point value that the stone of the ring that the stone remains in. That's how you can score twice. But the stick is never reset in the middle of a round. It is only reset at the end of each round once all 6 stones are thrown, and the points are calculated. Points do not cancel out like they do in cornhole, but they are adding up simultaneously, and you cannot go over 21 points. If you go over 21 points, the point value you end at gets cut in half. So if you go over, it might be beneficial to keep getting as many points as you can, because if you go up to 24 points, you'll get cut down to 12 points, and we round up to be nice. So the more points you get if you go over, the better. A couple more random rules that you need to be aware of. First off, you can only toss underhand. There's no overhand throws in regulation play. You have to toss underhand. However that may play out to you, but underhand is required. Secondly, if your stone breaks by landing on another stone, hitting an obstruction stone, or in any other fashion, then you cannot replace it with a stone you found before the tournament. In other words, the stones you have at your first game of the tournament are the stones you must finish the tournament with. Or, if your stone breaks, you will be given a random stone from the pot that the stonemason has, and that will be the stone you get to finish out with. You cannot go and find another stone or try to intentionally break your stone to replace it with a stone you prefer. Basically, we're just trying to prevent some scoundrels, And then the next thing that you need to be aware of is the midpoint. At whatever tournament you're playing, there will be a midpoint set and designated by some sort of obstruction or indicator or marker, and that midpoint is what you must throw past. During the body of the game, it doesn't make that big of a difference, because if they're short, you just don't get any points. But if you have won the game mid-round, you say you have 21 points. You haven't won yet, but you have more stones to throw. You have to throw those stones. You can't just whiff them and throw them super short. You have to make a legit attempt at the scoreboard, which means throwing past the midpoint. And if you do not, your points get cut in half immediately. So if you're at 21, you get cut down to, I believe it's 11 points. and you don't want that to happen right as you've gotten to the points. Also, the game does not end as soon as you get to 21 points, as I'm sure you have gathered. Once you get to 21 and the round is not over, the other player in the game gets a chance to keep scoring and get to 21 if that's possible. And no matter, even if it's not possible, you have to finish out that round. And the stump grinder will let you know how that will play out. Final scoring matter that you need to be aware of is that wherever stones end up at the end of the round, individual round, that is where they are scored. So if you knock somebody's stone out of the circle, or if you knock your own stone out of the circle, it stays where it is. It could have gone down a point, or it could be worth no points now, or maybe it wasn't worth points and now it is. Wherever it ends up at the end, once all 6 stones are thrown, that is the point value that it receives. As this demonstration court or rumble strip does not show, in a real rumble strip, you will have obstructions. There are stones, there are sticks, there are logs, there are pine cones. It is not a smooth surface. And that is another way you can tell a real regulation rumble strip. The last thing that you need to be aware of is for the spectators and the people not participating in that individual match of sticks and stones. It is heckling. After the first point is scored in each match, the audience is allowed to then heckle. Heckles have to be kind, or as kind as they can be. No raunchy insults. Be kind, be nice, but be funny. The humor is the main part. You're not allowed to try to distract people or yell during their throw. Be kind, but we want humor. We want bad Scottish accents, because that's just what the game's all about. You got to get into your bad accents. Just ask Pat; he's really good at bad accents. And yeah, so that's how you gotta play it as a spectator. You're not just sitting there doing nothing.